This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma, updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com. And if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Virgo, happening on August the 27th at 6:17 p.m. if you're in the Southern Hemisphere with me. Let's talk about rebirth, Aquarius. Let's talk about the phoenix rising out of the ashes. Let's talk about a complete regeneration. Let's talk about bushfires and the undergrowth and all of that beautiful, fresh life that can come after destruction. This is your 8th house speaking. This is Virgo in your 8th house. This is your chance, your access to a really grounded, healthy ticket to the next cycle. It's been a tough time and I get it. I really get it. And we're preparing you as well for more of the same activation. As the years go by, we're going to deal with this energy quite a lot. This kind of shamanistic change, this redirection of life, this destruction, this obliteration, and then this victory that comes after the fire. So at this new moon, I want you to think about Virgo. I want you to think about all that Virgo represents, and maybe not so much in a Roman Catholic way of virginity and purity and chastity, because that's old world. That's a language that we've evolved from and we've moved through. It doesn't hold much stake anymore. And we use the archetype because that's what we were given. But also, if we think about Virgo in terms of the tarot, we remember the hermit. And the hermit is the soul that has stolen away from the milieu, from social life, from the group, the collective, to gain wisdom from nature, from the herbs and plants and mud and dirt and shit of the world. And they've alchemized all of that, and they've looked at regeneration and how the cycles of life on this planet work, and how we can translate that to our own lives, and how we can use all of this to heal. That's what the hermit does. They hold their lantern, which contains the star, which is you, Aquarius. It's the alien. It's the one that's not of this place, but has all of the lessons for how we're going to shift humanity forward and how we're going to evolve the language together, right? The hermit uses the star, you, as their guide. So in this lunation, at this time in your 8th house, I want you to call in the phoenix. The ashes are falling, the fire's been had, the land has been scorched. How are you going to rise? How are you going to come through? That's what I want you to call in. And you're going to probably do that with knowledge and wisdom and with access to healing. Maybe. So that is the lunation. I'll walk you through the tarot, but let's talk about Mars as well, because Mars has a part to play on this particular day. Remember, the moon moves quite quickly, so this square will only last for a moment. However, Mars has just entered Gemini, and at 4 degrees will be forming this square with the moon and the sun. Mars will also stay in Gemini for the next 7 months. So as far as activation and as far as warrior energy, as far as moving forward and charging ahead with passion and with clarity and with confidence and drive, this is all playing out in your 5th house of self-expression. So Gemini rules your 5th. This is where you get to be a kid again. This is a beautiful relationship to this rebirth, to the 8th. The 5th talks all about how we express ourselves, how we know to express ourselves, how we connect with other people with joy and with optimism and with heart. The 5th is how you create too. If you're an artist, you've got Mars to contend with in the 5th for the next 7 months. So you're going to be making, you know, and you're an artist if you say that you are. I don't care what your medium is. I don't care if you're a janitor. You're an artist. You understand what I'm saying here? We all create and we all make things out of nothing. That's the beauty of the thought form turning into the physical reality, isn't it? That's magic. That's creation. So you've got Mars there, and I'm probably speaking a bit of Mars in my red dress to get you into that mode. What you're creating is going to have some beautiful, beautiful activation happen over the next 7 months. Let's look at the tarot. This might explain some little things. So at 4 degrees in Virgo, we have the sun and the moon, the lunation, your rebirth. The tarot card for that is the 8 of Pentacles. You know what this card says to me? This card is all about diligence and about showing up and about commitment. So this is your commitment to yourself, to your activation, your rebirth, the next phase. Think of that phoenix, babe. Think about that star trapped in their hermit's lantern. That's you. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And let's do it with diligence. Let's do it with practice. Let's do it with repetition and with devotion. That's a really beautiful word to use, I think, for the 8th house, devotion. We can devote ourselves to this second coming. The tarot card for Mars in Gemini, your 5th, your creativity, is represented at 4 degrees by the 8 of Swords. So let's talk about this. This is potential anxiety. This is trepidation, is what I'm reading here for you. This is something that says to me that the beginning stages of this reactivation of your expression might cause some anxiety. It might sort of have you feeling a bit trapped, or maybe you're trapped at present, but what you'll realize as we move through and as Mars moves back and forth through Gemini for you, you're going to cut yourself free of that bondage and your blindfold will come off because you've got everything that you need and you're on clay. See that water and earth? That is Virgo. That is malleable, mutable, malleable earth. You can shift this. You can shift this perspective and you can get back in touch with who it is that you are and what it is that you're creating and what is that little person locked in there. Who were they? They were really cool. They had a lot of fun. They were really interested in like concepts and solutions, and they had access to such intelligence. Aquarius, little star. That's what I want you to think about. So they're your tarot cards for the astrology. Let's pull some intuitive, I reckon. Let's spend some time on this. Down by the water. If you're a PJ Harvey fan, you know. If you know, you know. Anyway. Little fish, big fish swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. Little fish, big fish swimming in the water. Come back here, man, give me my daughter. I got 4. I got the 3 of Pentacles. I got the 7 of Pentacles. I got the 5 of Swords. And I got the 4 of Pentacles. I got a lot of earth energy here, Aquarius. This is really great. This is practical. This is solid ground, you know? You are coming from a space of potential collaboration is what I feel. You're coming from an area that was 1, 2, 3, and that had scope, that had possibility, and you were enjoying working with others in that space. It got to a point where the seeds that you planted, the wait became too long, and potentially the soil was maybe unhealthy, and you were sort of waiting and waiting for it to grow, feeling a little exhausted, and your decision was, rather than to stick around, was to walk away. If you see the Five of Swords there, that's a card of just walking away, of moving on from conflict, from something that was becoming too cerebral, something that was becoming too of the mind rather than of the spirit or the body. And what is coming up for you is a re-establishment of who it is that you are, and your pentacles on their own as they stand by themselves. This is what I see for you. This hasn't come from any space of impatience, I don't think, because the Seven of Pentacles is a long one. We've been dealing with that energy for some time, I think. If you recall the last readings, there's been a lot of Taurian, Uranus energy around the Seven of Pentacles, and the North Node too. We've been focusing in on this idea of staying the distance, staying the distance. I think in this I can see, and if we work with eighth house rebirth, the decision to move away is that's what you've decided to do. And now is the time to hang on to what it is that you do know, and what it is that you can create, and keep the faith that you are going to be A-okay, and that this moment, this new moon in the 8th, probably couldn't come at a better time, because we want to prepare you, Aquarius. We want to get you into the mentality, into the thought processes of cyclical nature. Things start and they end, don't they? And they begin again. Nothing that is over forever, and nothing that is existing lasts forever. That's a double-edged thought, isn't it? But if you think about life this way rather than this way, that'll hold you in good stead, because this way there's no going back, isn't there? There's an abyss. And that's not the truth. And you know that because you're an Aquarian. You know that in your heart and soul. And you know how to tell others that concept, how to teach that concept. It might be a great time for you to hang on to what it is that you do know, and your skills and your stability. 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a stable foundation to start again, to grow, to rise, like the phoenix that you are. All right, I think I've railed my point home, Aquarius. That's for you, from me to you. I love you very much, and I mean every word I say. Take care. It's going to be a good one, and it's going to be right on time. And if any of this action happens, know that it's temporary, and know that you can work with this, and that it's going to be 7 months of passion in the creative zone. So there's going to be inspiration, there's going to be frustration, there's going to be a chance for you to get back to the drawing board in a lot of ways. I mean, that's the best way to express, that's the best way to create, isn't it? We can't think too much of the end point, of the completion point. The process is where it's at. The process is where we express and where we discover our voice. There you go. That's your reading. I love you very much. You can get your birth chart read at umaruby.com. You can send me a message. You can probably do it anonymously too, I think, at the comments section or the connect page on Uma Ruby. If you had questions about the tarot or about astrology, I'm thinking about different ways to start processing and presenting this knowledge. So I'd love to know what it is that you'd like to learn if you want to learn anything. Until I speak to you in 2 weeks at the full moon in Pisces, I love you and I'll speak to you then. Take care. Bye.